Matthias, and I'm going to talk you through how to use Twitter to help you with applications and trying to hopefully find a job. I help John Lees every few years when he brings out a new edition of his book, How to Get a Job You'll Love, where I write some content for him on this very topic, and I normally tweet around the time that the book comes out with a couple of hopefully updated tips. Right, so let's jump into this. Well, the first most important thing is that Twitter enables you to reach out to potential employers and partners and professional peers, as well as to display your own kind of professional identity to them. And that is really the beauty of Twitter, because it is so easy to connect and to find out, and you can use that to your advantage. So the first thing really is to start following employers and peers you want to work with and other professionals in your field on Twitter. And the more people you follow, the more people will normally follow you back. So really go through, find out who's on Twitter you know and you know of, and start following them. Create a Twitter profile that connects back to your, for example, LinkedIn profile. Make sure that your picture, for example, on those are all the same. So in my case, you'll find my lovely profile, and it's always the same, so that people recognize you through the different networks that you're going through. As I said, follow target employers, follow their followers, job tweets, relevant bloggers, and so on and so forth. And then it's very much about sharing what they are offering. You don't have to worry about your own content first that much. It's really about starting to get a feel of what the Twitter talks about in your professional field, and to start really easing yourself into the conversation. Creating your first tweets can be daunting, as the lovely tradition of Ed Ball's day, look it up, will attest. So yes, your first few tweets will make you feel a little bit uncomfortable, but you'll find your way in. And as long as you're not offensive or massively mansplaining something, just ease yourself in. Give positive feedback to others by retweeting, by liking what they produce, and by just being a good colleague, because that's exactly what you can portray using Twitter in this context. And an employer will look you up, and they will try to see what you're all about, and if what you've told them in your application and the conversations you had with them in the real world will actually add up to what you're saying online. One of the things to remember here is that the offline world still rules the online world, just about, and I think that might change. So make sure that you're building a consistent narrative about yourself, because that, again, will give people a picture of how it would be to actually work with you. Couple of other things. So the first thing is Twitter is, produce, talk a lot. I would normally advise to say about 5 tweets a day. That's very much opposed to what I advise people to do on LinkedIn, where a relevant update once a day, maybe shared to Twitter, is a good thing, but you don't want to overload people's diverse inboxes with your content, especially if it's just a little note or so. So Twitter, go for about 5 tweets a day on relevant topics. Always keep in mind that you're speaking to a specific audience. So make sure that what you say, you're happy to be shared and looked at by a future employer. Be relevant. Look at what sector you're interested in. Make sure you're sharing out of those 5 tweets a day, roughly, that there is something for everyone in your audiences, but especially for those you're actually angling for, and those are the employers. And then it's really about finding your own voice, finding what you have to contribute and how you want to be seen. Just always put the mirror in front of you, not literally, but figuratively speaking, to make sure that how you sound on there is how you want to come over. A little bit one there that you can do, but need to be very careful not to be creepy about, is you can obviously spy a little bit on the employers that might be interviewing you, because they'll obviously do that to you, but just basically be aware that you don't creep people out when you start following them in and around an interview or before an interview or something like that. You've got to be confident about it, and you can comment on, yeah, I see you tweeting a lot about architecture. That interests me too. But it is important that you are the person they want to see you, and they shouldn't be surprised if you're totally different suddenly than you were on social media when they actually meet you in person, which is the absolute aim. You want to get in front of people in the real world, and that is what Twitter can help you with. So, to summarize, these are some tips in support of John Lee's new book, How to Get a Job You'll Love. I think it's the 20-year 10th edition, if I remember this correctly. So it's definitely worth checking out. And yes, I'm not getting any sponsorship for that. I just value John a lot, and the approach that he takes with regards to building networks, that is something I really, really can align with. So I hope this was useful for you. Have a look at matthiasfeist.com. That's where my blog lives, and on LinkedIn, where I will share this as well. And yes, get in touch. If you don't agree with something I said, bring it on. I'm really looking forward to hear feedback from you. Thank you, and well, see you around.